In this video we're going to do something a little bit different, seeing everybody's at home and can't do anything. I thought we'd have a look at some fuel filters for TDIs. What's the difference? Because they range in price dramatically. I just happen to have 4 on the table here that I've bought over the years, and I thought to myself, yeah, let's pull them apart, see what's in them. Why not? Now, I'd like to do oil filters as well, but I haven't got enough different manufacturers, and I haven't got a Land Rover one, unfortunately, to work on. So let's have a look and I'll show you what I've got. I don't have a brand new Mahle filter, but I've got one here that I took off the 300 TDI when I did the cylinder head. So I've changed that one. I've also got a Cooper's Fiam filter, a Delphi, which used to be Lucas Delphi, and I've also got our blue box favourite, our Britpart one. These are the Chinese ones for sure. Now I'm not sure where these are actually made, but I'll write it down below, and then we'll have an idea of which countries they came from. So let's first have a look at the Mahle one before I cut it up. It's got 6 holes in the top, rubber ring, some nice pleats in, smallish holes here. The fuel goes down through these holes and comes back up there, remember that. Yeah, that's it, that's nothing to say. It's got a water drain at the bottom, standard. I don't know why I wiped my hands. Oh, that was covered in diesel. Let's have a look at the Coopers. Ooh, a different beast again. A lot more holes. 2, 4, 6, 8 holes. That means it's going to pass more diesel quickly. And it seems to have some sort of a funky bracket here holding the ring in. Now, it's most important when you're changing fuel filters. A lot of people forget there's an actual ring in there, and it sometimes gets stuck inside the filter head. Other than that, the dimensions are pretty much the same, you know, obviously, but you can see there's a distinct difference between the two. So anyway, it's well marked, it's a Cooper's. Let's have a look at a Delphi one. Oh, made in Poland. You can't go wrong with that one. Where's these ones? Does it say where they're made? Oh, made in Turkey. Oh, that's going to save me a lot of typing, isn't it? And I think the Mahle ones are made in Austria. Oh, look at that, made in Austria. Oh, that's interesting, isn't it? I'm not going to tell you though. See that? Compare it to the Coopers. You would think they were identical, but look again. Look at where the crimp is here on the Delphi one, and the crimp over here on this one. But this little funky gasket is exactly the same dimensions. Lucas CAV, that's the old thing. They look like they're a quality part. The saw of truth will tell. And let's have a look at our old favourite Britpart ones. Where are these made? Wow, they never tell you, do they? They never say, but I know they're made in China, so I can tell you that for now. 2, 4, 6 holes. Not the same again, not the same as a Mahle one. Definitely not the same as the Coopers or the Delphi one. Dimensionally it looks the same. I wonder what's in them. Let's find out. I'm going to take a saw or grinder, and I'm going to cut around this seam here so we can open it up. Alright, so this may take some time. So I'll come back and I'll lay them out on the table exactly the way they are now, and then we can see it. Oh, just one other thing. While I was looking, the instructions. Number 1, put some oil on the seal, turn it twice, minimum 0.4. Number 3, turn it to 20 Newton meters. I don't know what the hell that means. Is it stop raining or something like that? And put a big cross on your bin. The instructions on this one Oil gasket, tighten 3/4 of a turn after gasket contacts case. And it's all in different languages. The Britpart one, oil the gasket, screw on filter until the gasket bottoms, tighten further by hand, start engine, check for leaks, retighten if necessary. Vague. And this one, nout. Nout, I suppose you just nail them on. Let's get the saw out. Well, this is exciting. Very interesting, I'm glad I did that. We'll start with the Mahle one. I just cut it with my slitting stone around there, the very thin one, so it didn't do any damage. Are you ready? There it is, and inside there's a little sort of filtery type thing for the water trap at the bottom. But please look at this here. You see, it's just like a pleated filter. So oil or diesel comes around the outside through the filter and back up to the top. I'm not going to say anything too much at the moment, but let's have a look at a Cooper's. You ready? Ooh. Now, we've got a seal in the top here that pushes down on here, but you can see how nice and carefully the sealer is. So fuel comes through this cap here, this end plate, straight onto the top of the filter. Then, by going through the filter, it'll come back up through this tube here. Interesting, eh? Well, let's now have a look at a Delphi one. Ready? A lot tighter packed. A lot tighter packed. Same principle though. Fuel can come through here, allowed to go through the paper filter, and goes down to the bottom and then comes up through the tube here. Notice too the way that the sealer has been applied here. Very nice and neat. Our old favourite, the name you can trust. Same idea as all the rest of them, except look at the state where they've put the sealer in here. It's like a 10-year-old or a 2-year-old's gone around with his caulking gun. Same principle though as all the rest, except for the Delphi one. Look how neater the Delphi one is compared to the Britpart one. See the pleats in there? It's just like we don't care. But this looks like it's been rolled on a maiden's knee, on a maiden's thigh, sorry. Very nice. Let's compare that again to the Coopers. Alright, so there's the Coopers one. You can see the density of the Britpart one isn't quite there. And looking at the filter, if I put the filtered papers to the same height, well, I thought these might have been a bit lower, but the actual filter casing's a bit lower too, so it might be the same. So which is my favourite? This one. Why? Because the diesel goes through these holes here, comes onto the top of the filter and has a great big surface area to go through. If you've got dirt and debris in your tank, this is going to be very forgiving. If you've got a filter like this, and the diesel comes through these holes here, it's going to sit on the top of this paper and block the filter up. It will not get down into there. I can guarantee that. It will not get down into that all that filter. So if actual paper surface area for your maximum filtration would be something like this, in my opinion, because if you unrolled all that there's a great big, there'll be miles and miles of paper in it. Well, not miles, but there'll be a lot more paper surface area than this top bit. If your filters, if you're always running on city diesel and it's nice and clean all the time, it's not a problem. Use these. But if you're out in the bush or somewhere like that, these are the ones I'd use, without a shadow of a doubt. Because most Land Rover systems do not, like the TDIs and things like this, do not have a pre-filter. Would it be a good idea to put one in? Maybe. Then I'd switch to this one. Good, isn't it? But no, I like those. I like that idea. I like that concept. And you can probably see all the pleats in the bottom of there, how it's all nicely, tightly packed. So, well, bugger it. Let's have a look inside. Yeah, you see, look. It's like a mini air filter, isn't it? Look. You can see that, well, there's some little bits of dust and dirt in there, but it doesn't take much to plug these up. Not that one. It doesn't take much to plug these up. I mean, Britpart ones, well, you get what you pay for. This is getting more interesting by the minute. So, I got the Cooper's filter, and I cut the bottom off, and this little chamber at the bottom is your water separator chamber, because you pull that cap off, and here you unscrew that a little bit to let any water out that's captured in your fuel, you know, and then it'll just drain out through that little hole here. Oh, that's irrelevant. But what was interesting is where the fuel comes from. So obviously the fuel goes through the top of here, then does a double pass and comes back up through this hole here. So it'll eventually get through these holes down at the bottom and then up through this tube here. And the other ones are exactly the same, except when it comes to the Delphi one, look at how many holes are in there compared to that one. This is going to have a lot better flow than this one. The Britpart one, well, they've got a lot of holes in, but they're very small. So the Cooper's one seems a bit restricted, but look at the restriction of flow on the Britpart one to come back up. See, look, great big hole there. Same size as Britpart one. So, even though this has got smaller holes on it, it's got a bigger hole to get back into your fuel line to go to your pump. Well, that was interesting. Let's do something more interesting. Let's cut them now in half and see what's in them. Oh, well, this madness never ends. This is more interesting by the second now. So what I did was, let's start on the Delphi one, or the Cooper's. Now, when I had these casings and I cut through them, they just absolutely sprang wide open. Let's have a look what's in them. There's your pleated paper, look. You know, some people get very anal and measure the paper thickness and the stuff like that. We're not interested in that. But that's all it is. It's just a bit of paper, and we've sort of glued it around the top. Look. Oh, they've done it double. Look, they've folded it. See? Isn't that nice? Oh, you can keep these for Christmas, couldn't you? Hey, you can use it as toilet paper. See, we haven't got any. No wonder they're cheap, eh? Oh, there we go. Take that bit off. A little bit of tape on there to hold it on. So now I'm going to measure it up the best I can, because there's still some paper on the inside of this one. Let's have a look at the Delphi one. See if that's made the same. It should be. I'm going to miss a few layers off, but never mind. Oh no, I can't get them off because they're glued on. So I think the thickness of the glue will compensate and be even on everything. Right, get rid of that. Yeah, look. Now, what's in here? What do we have here? How the heck is this put together? Oh, this is different again. Look. Oh, I see. It's like it's double folded. So the fold off one becomes the top of another now. Oh, I bet they never thought that these would come apart, so I can't measure them. But you can see how they're sort of layered and glued together, where the other one was in a strip. That's good. That's very good. Whose was that one again? Oh, that was the Lucas one. No, yeah, that's the Delphi, wasn't it? That's the Delphi one. So we won't be able to get that apart, but we can see how it's constructed by gluing one piece on top of another. That was fun. Our old friend, the Britpart one. Now, what are these like? We're risking life and limb. I don't think I'll be able to put these back together. Just the same as the first ones, really. A little bit of sort of wet glue around the top to hold them together. But not the same as the Lucas one. And like I said, they're a paper folded. They're a paper folded, just like the. What was that one again? I've got it all mixed up now. I've only got 4. Oh, Cooper's one. That was right. There we are. So there's the. This is the Britpart one, and this is the Cooper's one. The easiest way to do it on camera, we'll sort of find the rough end, roughly together. See which one's got more paper in. So far it's the, which one is it now? The Cooper's one. But that's hard to tell because some of it's stuck inside. Very much a similar sort of paper type material as well. It's like a pleated, it's like Andrex. In fact, I think it's better than Andrex. You can hear. Yeah, it looks almost the same paper. You know, that wouldn't surprise me. Look, you see how that's pleated there, and it looks almost the same, doesn't it? Well, I've got a lot of tidying up to do. So, I haven't changed my mind though. I'm still going to use these from now on. These Mahle ones. Better idea. Better engineered, I think. You know, even though they've got a lot more paper in them, the filtering qualities of these, like I say, if you're in the bush or out the back or beyond, these are the ones to use, I would have thought. Pity you can't clean them out, but yeah, I think they'll be good. There's no sort of valves or anything like that in them, like an oil filter. Well, I think these are all right. Like I say, if you're subject to sand, dirt, mud, paint from your jerry cans, these ones. But if you're not, I would probably use the Lucas ones, Delphi ones. They seem to be quite nice. Hope you like that. Bit of fun, wasn't it? Something you don't see every day. Right, back to your sick beds. See ya.